Any correspondence?
I have none.
Project status report. Kyle, you got anything to say about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Looks like the project status report's been updated by the respective department heads. Are there any questions on any of the ongoing projects?
I got a little question for Doug. The new maintenance building at Castle Rock Park, 2023 maintenance garage. Is that something that's going to happen this year?
I'm hoping to get that. I was just talking to Kyle about that this morning, but we're talking about lining up an engineering outfit and stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna start work on it, but I don't know that we'll actually see that construction happen probably until the 2024 year.
Is that basically just a garage or is it a shop?
Right now, we just have a very small shop building and it has a dirt floor. And I have a lot of equipment that sits outside at the park.
Okay,
I'm proposing like a 40 by 64 pole shed.
okay. Strictly storage, or will you put a shop area in there for?
It'll be our shop area. I want to keep it heated too. So.
All right. Any other questions? Treasurer's report. Johnny, you got anything good?
I don't know how good it can be. Actually, it is. The updated version of what we had is down to about 15 properties, which is amazing for us. Court is scheduled July 20th, 10 more days. We have to wait and see for a final round. There's still a couple out there that say they're going to pay. They have until up to the court date to do so. We shall see. There's a couple that I want you to consider for next month when we do the final, to let you know what I'm thinking anyway. Property number 2, that is literally underwater. We're not going to sell it. It's the Friendship Lake, part of Friendship Lake, and that's probably why they quit paying on it. And other than hoping that it probably would be drained out and become land again, I believe that's probably why they don't pay. We've had that happen at Mason, and I think it was Lake Mason that we did that. They were in the middle, right in the middle, but they had parcel numbers from way back when, and we just kept them in our name. So maybe some years later, we'll see how it happens. But so I would say really is not going to sell that one. Property number 42. Or it's like way at the end, Lyanna, sorry. That one is a result of a bunch of property owners that turned around and did a bunch of CSMs and left an open space, which turned out to be their easement to get to their properties. So what they did 4 years ago was put a parcel number on it. Of course, nobody paid it because they are deceased, and we definitely went through all the records more than once. So what we were thinking for that one, and we have talked to the assessor on that for verification, that you can read in their things that this was supposed to be their easement right, and the assessment value then we would give to the 3 parcels, and they would be assessed with that into their original parcel. And number 43, this is going to take some time. I don't know if Jeff has heard anything. This was the bankruptcy that was filed. But when we read the news, when we read the report on it, he was surrendering the property to us. But we had to wait. We're waiting for the final official judgment that they accepted that. So.
And I can update it. We still have not received the official approval from the bankruptcy court on that, but still my understanding that the owner wants to surrender the property to the county rather than pay the taxes.
So even if it's not done, and I don't know what Jeff's, if we don't get it in time, we can still continue and do it again on its own. But what I want to tell you, it's the property right out front here that has the Dan's Builders and that falling down rental place right in the front here. So if we get it, which I thinking we're pretty much going to get it if he's finally surrendered it after 10 years of this. There's going to be a lot to think about with that building and how we going to have to function, clean up, ideas. So keep that in mind on that particular one. But other than that, I have nothing more on that.
Well, should we move right into A, discuss or acts on tax deed update, or was that it?
That was it. We can't do anything until after court, so that's just an update for you.
How about B, discuss or act
We-
policy?
Going to do a policy action, when we talked to Jeff, we really don't have to do it because we have the ordinance that says that we're following the statutory guidelines, so we don't have to be nitpicky on that. So I had found an old one and it kind of like scared me a little bit saying, oh, I didn't update this and, you know, double checked myself and Jeff verified, yeah, we didn't have to do any policy because we have the ordinance in place for following.
And then let's move on to C, whether we need a property tour.
We're down to roughly, say 12 in the long run. With the new statutory guidelines that we have to follow when it comes for the sales part, we are not gaining anything. Part of our tours, we're always like, you know, how much do we want to put on a minimum bid, you know, and do that kind of stuff. We'd check them out and see if they needed more work, do we need to go lower? But we had last year decided that as long as we put the minimum bid at what we needed to cover all our taxes and our fees. And if we started there, anything over and above, we can't keep anyway. So it's up to you. Do you want to spend the time to go around looking at something that your call?
You could probably do it all in one day with one. Just
Depends.
question, do any of the committee members think that we need to tour the property? And if so, I would just ask for 1 or 2 volunteers to go with Jenny and do it. Because I think it could all be done in one day with just one car.
We're depending. We'd be going from one end to the other end of the county, so it could take longer because of the time frame than what we normally would do. Than when we had them
Mhm.
shifted to whatever. That's the only thing. I have not done it yet myself. Usually I try to do a preliminary run to let you know on that.
Yeah. I won't disagree. I'm just looking for input from the committee. Mike, would you like?
I think that the process that we used last year was very efficient and it worked well. So we didn't see any of the properties, but we got everything done that we needed to do to help
Right.
Janie out with her
Pri-
process. of-
Prior to last year, we used to go out and tour them all, and basically all we did was
Put
throw
a
a minimum bid
in.
at them and drive on to the next one, which is not necessary anymore. Any other comments?
If that's what you choose. I mean, I'm still gonna go out and I will definitely take pictures and I can create like a binder for everybody to see that for our next meeting, so you have everything ready to go.
Well, unless anybody makes a motion to go on a tour, I think you're gonna be on your own.
That's fine. We could do that, but like I said, I will take pictures and create a binder booklet so you can see with all
Okay.
the information.
All right. Anything else for Jenny? Anybody? Josh?
Mr. Chair, if I may, Janie, can you remind us of the different measures you take to help redeem these properties, whether it be phone call, a letter? Can you just remind us what you've done to help redeem these, please?
Seriously. Again, we start from the time that they missed their first payment on taxes 3.5 years ago. They get quarterly notifications of the delinquencies. a year before we start, we send an extra notification that states right on there, you, coming up September of whatever, you're eligible for foreclosure. Please contact our office for payment plans or information. And we do that for 3 different quarterly reminder notices.
Mhm.
Then September again, we tell them we're starting it. And then we send another notice when the title search is done, stating we added the extra $200.
Mhm.
We have letters that go out with the homeowners. Now that's almost done, but any kind of help, like community action and stuff, we've got all that. It's on our website on top of that. And that's over and above what we're mandated to do.
Any-
Well over. Above what we're
Okay.
mandated.
Any phone calls or anything like that? Do you ever do that?
We don't keep phone calls.
Mhm.
Numbers change.
Mhm.
We definitely talk with people should they call us.
Mhm. Let them know that they can make an installment program.
That's the whole idea
Are-
of those letters stating, please contact our office. We're offering payment plans
Mhm.
ahead of time, not after it started, unfortunately, but that's why we
Realize,
try to get them to do that.
yeah, I'm realizing some, a lot of these properties probably have issues, structurally. Are there any programs or anything that can help with some of these homeowners if they are struggling with their condition of their house?
All part of the community actions and especially a lot of the elderly, I send them over to the aging department. ADRC has a lot of the programs. But again, they have to do that. That's not we can't make them do that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, I'm
think
just
it-
wondering if there's more ways that we can make them aware of these programs.
I think at the county level, we're already doing above and beyond the call of duty. I think people have to take some responsibility for their own actions.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I would agree. But any assistance programs, we want to make sure people are staying in their homes if it's a possibility. Thank you.
Okay, next would be the maintenance
Oh,
report.
Nope,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wanted to go back to the calendar.
Yes,
Does that look all right for you now that we're not going to do the tour, that the next meeting then we'll have the final numbers given to you? You can authorize that if that's okay. And then I will be able to turn in the legal publishing notification and then it'll go 3 weeks, which is by statute. And then we could open the bids on September 11th on the regular meeting.
it certainly looks good to me. Everybody else get a chance to look at it? Okay,
Go with that?
I don't hear anything, so it
Right,
looks like,
so when I create the booklet, then I'm going to use that September 11th. That's the opening bid date. Okay.
okay, sounds good. Now we'll move on with maintenance report. Bill?
Good afternoon, everybody. I guess just an update on the courthouse building project, the Veterans Memorial Wall. I'd said it's formed up, the footings, frost walls are poured. The concrete finally got poured on that wall. Hallelujah.
Where's Bob when you need him?
I know, I should have taken a picture and emailed them. I probably still will. And anyway, they've got the forms stripped. The forms are still out there, but they stripped the forms in the next week or to 2 weeks. They're gonna form up the cap on that. We'll get the cap poured in place, get the excavator back. He's gonna put some rock around the wall and then smooth out all that dirt out there in the landscaping so we can kind of get our lawn back to looking like a lawn again out front a little bit. So that is nice. I don't think I have any other big updates on the maintenance report itself.
Okay, if nobody's got any questions, let's move on with the bids for repaving the midway at the fairgrounds.
Okay. We did advertise for bids, contracted this project to Ayers Associates. I have them do a lot of my survey work for me, so it just fit right in with what I'm doing. We did only receive 1 bid for the repaving of the fairgrounds midway. The bid came from Gerke Excavating Incorporated. They have listed 2 subcontractors, DL Gasser for the asphalt paving and Hard Rock for the saw cutting work. Familiar with both their work and have no issues with that. Ayers did say that all the paperwork was in order and that the bid bond was received. The bid came in the amount of $192,268.30 for the total of the work. They had estimated $184,500 plus a contingency of $18,500 The engineer's estimate was 203,000. So the bid did come in less than the estimate, more than what I budgeted, but less than the estimate. And I do have funds available in my capital funds for to cover the project cost. So I would recommend that the county would award the bid to the lowest responsible bidder of Gerke Excavating Incorporated.
Okay, anybody got any questions, Rocky?
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Did I read something that it wouldn't be done this year? Is that correct, Bill?
It's going to get done this year. It's just not going to be done before the fair. Right. We decided to forego that. We would love to have got it done before the fair. But with the summer heat, we thought it was best to wait till after the fair so they're not setting that heavy equipment up on it, those rides and things on the brand new asphalt. Let it kind of have time to set up over the fall and the winter. And plus, they're going to be doing a lot of excavating to get that water to run away, because that was one of the main concerns with this project, was making sure that we don't have a duck pond out there in the middle where they're having rides and extension cords and little kids all the time. So in order to get the excavating done, there's going to be a lot of grass seeding going on, and it'd be nice to let that grass seed sit for the fall so that it comes in nice this fall and this next spring. So we're going to, as soon as the fair is over, they have to go ahead to get started on that project, and they have till, I think, the end of October to get it done.
Okay, so it'll be done supposedly this year, but not for fair time.
Exactly. Yes, it'll be done this fall.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion? Oh, yeah, let's,
Mr. Chair, if I may, this question, Bill, was there an option on a second bid, local bidder on that at all?
We called the local companies and asked them to bid on it as well. I think a lot of the companies we just called, it amounted to everybody's busy doing paving right now. There's a lot of paving going on. If you drive around, you notice that
Right.
there's a lot, I mean, a lot of road projects going on. And that with the weather we've been having, the road projects, they're paving right till, November, going into December, now and it's just it's hard for anybody to get in their schedule, I think.
Mhm. I see. All right. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
okay. Mike, you have a question or bid? Or a
I'll second.
Rocky motion? Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor of accepting that low bid, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimous. Then we move right on to the re-roofing project.
Hey, this project was making me nervous. Wasn't sure where the bids were gonna come in. They've been throwing a lot of numbers around, and it's a lot more money now than it used to be to do any project, unfortunately. I did have about 700,000 budgeted for this project. We did get 4 bids for the roof project. We opened bids this morning. All 4 of the contractors that bid on the project came on site and did visual inspections, did cores of the roof, did measurements on site. I spent probably an hour and a half, 2 hours with each of the contractors, which was real good to see. That means there's a lot of interest in the project. That being said, of the 4 bids, Quality Roofing Incorporated from Marshfield was the lowest responsible bidder on this project. Actually, all 4 bidders, all the paperwork was in order. All of them had their bid bonds, so they were all 4 good bids. Quality Roofing was the lowest bid. Quality Roofing came in at a total bid of $568,352. The next closest was Commercial Roofing at $630,000 even. Custofoam Corporation, $695,197, and Neiman Central Wisconsin Roofing at $698,400 was the high bid. After looking through all the paperwork and talking with the architect and engineer on this, they did reach out to Quality Roofing this morning after we had the bid opening, and spoke to their project manager, Lucas Kramer. He said that they aggressively bid this project, and that's why they got the low bid. He said that they have room in their schedule to accommodate our schedule this year and get it done this fall. And that they were able to cut money and labor costs off because they had the room available. And I think a lot of the other companies were like, well, we can probably get it done, but they're factoring in like overtime in their bids, so that's why they were able to kind of get us a little bit better, more competitive bid, which was good for us as a county. Everybody's paperwork was in order. There again, I would recommend that we accept the lowest reasonable bid of $568,352 from Quality Roofing Incorporated out of Marshfield.
Well, my only question for you, Bill, probably none of us know anything about those people that bid on this. Are you satisfied and comfortable with Quality Roofing?
Absolutely. They've got 70 some years in the business. They just got doing a roof on Lambeau Field. They just did the Cole Center in Madison. They do Marshfield Clinics work. They've got a great reputation. A lot of good recommendations from the companies that they've worked with. I know the project manager that came out on site. He was grew up around here, lives near Marshfield now, but they're a very reputable company, yes. And they are a master contractor for both Firestone and Mulehyde, which are the two companies, they're Carlisle, which we spec, those are the two companies we spec because they're the leading industry leaders in this business in the rubber roofing field. So having the master contractor status is another good mark for them.
Mr. Chair. Bill, would you also let them know about the product itself that's being used?
Oh, they said that they will probably go, yes, with the Carlisle product. Carlisle and Firestone are both good products, both carry a 20-year manufacturer warranty. So even if something would happen to the contractor, you go to any of their master contractors, will come on site for free and fix their problems. But they do recommend, because they one of the only companies around that does both. Most companies just do one or the other. They said they'll probably will go with the Carlisle product. They do have more confidence in the product. They have more confidence in the adhesives that they use for the product. And I said that that's a good sign to me, you know, that they're going with the superior product as well. So.
We have no other questions. I'll entertain a motion. Mike makes a motion to accept the low bid. Do I have a second? Second by Bill Wimmer. All those in favor of accepting Quality Roofing as the low bid, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's all I had.
Parks Department report. Either one of you guys want to go first?
I don't have too much to add here, except that we're in the middle of our busy season, obviously. At Castle Rock, we hosted the fireworks. The Lions Club put on that event. Things went really well. We had good crowds. Other than that, I don't have too much to say except for the report. Darren, you have anything to add?
No, I don't have anything necessarily to add. Any questions, I guess?
Mike, go ahead.
Darren, do you have any more applicants for your assistant manager since your original one resigned? Has there been a?
Currently, right now,
advertisement?
I believe it's going to be advertised this week is when it starts, so we haven't received any yet.
Bill?
Chair, as a follow-up to that, when you say a seasonal assistant, what's the season?
That particular employee or position is generally from mid-March through mid-November is the season that they work. We've done a lot of changing around of our staffing structures the last couple of years, trying to create some longevity in some of our positions and by creating the other full-time assistant manager and leaving this seasonal assistant manager and we haven't really even had time with the new people to see how this is even working yet to benefit the department. So if that answers your question, Bill.
I just wanted to follow up. Is that an hourly position?
Yes, correct.
And can you tell me what the pay is for that?
It's based off of the county's wage study. The starting pay for that position is 2007 and it's scheduled for 1,580 hours, working hours a year.
Okay. And can you give me any insight on what happened there? I don't want you to get personal. I was just wondering What, was it something that he didn't recognize or when he took the job, or does he just want to move on?
I don't think we can get into that type of detail.
I didn't want to get too personal. I just was curious how that works.
Yeah, I guess all they can say is he resigned or whatever, so they can't go into any specifics.
Thank you.
Okay, Josh, you got a question?
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'm not sure where, I had somebody mention a concern on Wisconsin River recently about rebar sticking up now that the water levels came down, down over by that bridge. There's an old existing pylon and somebody was saying there's rebar sticking out. I don't know if there's some way we can have somebody go out there and cut that off or paint it or so that, I mean, there's jet skiers going through
I
there.
think that's gonna be up to the state DNR or something. I
Is
don't
it?
think the
Okay.
county's got anything to do with that.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a concern I had there, so, thank you.
The state highway bridge?
Yeah, it's 82 there. Yeah, that probably is state, so maybe somebody could forward that to them.
Okay. Any items for the next agenda? Okay, nothing. Next meeting date looks to me like August 14th at 2:00. And again, I apologize for the fiasco we had on last month. And I will try my best not to change any meetings in the future.
Did you say 7 or 8:14?
Yep, August 14th at 2:00. If nobody's got anything else. Okay, Bill.
The comfort station, is that going in this year? You have it, I understand.
Yes, we have it and it will be installed yet this year. I'm quite confident of that.
I have nothing more. Chair.
Okay, I declare this meeting adjourned.